You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
What's up, punters and dribblers? Welcome back to another episode of All Talk, brought to you by our good friends at Good Day. Daily multivitamins and also Daylights, Daily Electrolytes. BeGoodHealth.com.au is where you go to get it. Code Dribbler gets you 10% off. Subscription will get you 20. Big guest today. Big guest. She was player of the match in the Women's State of Origin Game 2, where the Blues humped the Maroons. Comprehensive 20-point victory, I believe. Could actually say 26-point victory if you acknowledge, like we all do, that Tamika Upton's strike was a load of bullshit. She is a Women's Dally M winner, two-time premiership winner, Origin Series winner, Australian representative, one of the faces of the female game at the moment, and a very cool girl. It was lovely to meet her. Lovely to sit down and have a chat. Please enjoy Olivia Kernick. Now, firstly, welcome, Liv. Thank you very much for coming on. New South Wales hero. But usually I will, as I said, we record an intro beforehand, which I will do.
Will do.
Yep. Did I just say me? We will do it together. But
I don't want to be phased out.
No, that's true. Central Coast girl, Wyong Roos.
Yeah, and Burkeval Panthers.
Who
you donated your money to?
Yes, I did.
Player of the match, $2,000. Nice touch.
Nice touch. Classy touch. Roosters Rookie of the Year in your first season. Obviously, if it's Rookie of the Year, would make sense. You wouldn't.
It's the second season.
You wouldn't get it in your second year.
Well, Ben Simmons did. Different sport, not important.
Two-time premiership winner.
Yes.
One-time Dally M winner. Flex. Is it called something else in the women's?
Dally M.
Okay.
I think they had chats about that, but
okay, that's all right. Glad I didn't fuck that up. State of Origin, representing your state, obviously. Series winner, flex, player of the match Game 2, Australian representative, and also in the Australian team that beat the English so bad that the women's game got removed from Vegas, which we will ask you about. Off the back of that, how did you not score a try in that game? Did you get injured?
You know what? My boyfriend said the same thing to me after the game. I don't know. I was just passing out wide.
You just dishing
Just
them.
giving seed.
I didn't look at your assists for that game. It may have been through the roof. Anyway, thank you again for coming on. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Excellent.
How are you feeling after the other night? Obviously, New South Wales getting the job done. 2 games, job done. We look to sweep next week, but tell us about that night. Very special stuff for the state.
Oh, it was so good. I think, there was that stat that came out the morning of that we hadn't won in New South Wales for 6 years.
I think that was maybe Random Stats Guy who put that up.
Was it?
Rando, yeah, Queenslander.
Yeah.
And that would have been since North Sydney Oval, probably.
Yes.
He's saying that like he knows the stat, but he read it like an hour ago. He's like, that would have been North Sydney Oval, wouldn't it?
Makes me sound intelligent. Makes me sound smart.
Yes, I think it was.
Thank you. See?
Yeah, so that was just extra fire in the belly. And then, to put on a performance like that, our team, we were just so happy and so glad we got to win at home as well.
Did that stat do the rounds in like the sheds that day?
100%. Like Kennedy was actually up in the morning showing everyone on our team walk, like, look at this. And we're like, shit, really?
Wow.
Like a real stat?
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. But also, like, we were only playing 1 game of Origin.
Fully.
So it wasn't 3 games. So we've only just started playing 3 games. This is our second time.
Yeah, right. Last year, hey?
Yeah. But still, not a good stat to have.
Not a great stat.
No.
Well, it sounds like it fired the girls up rather. And Rando, I think, goes for Queensland.
No, he's a Queenslander.
So he's damaged himself there.
Yeah, he has.
And Kennedy calling it out in the post game was great. She said she brought it up when she was talking to someone. She's like, "We saw a stat today that fucking pissed us off." And then Rando put it up, I think. Yeah. I mean, that game. Now I did go a bit statsy beforehand with your stats, but I just have to go statsy again because you got player of the match. You fucking dominated. We were doing the stream for it, and we were not that it's important, but we were invested in you winning player of the match. That as it may. Kernick and unders. Kernick and unders.
Kernick, unders. we all know the chant, don't we? We all know the fucking chant.
Well, we gabbered. And hit the
but
Lebanese
that's
drum.
a tradition, right? That was started after last year, after winning game 3. We now gabber if New South Wales wins.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
And bring out the Lebanese drum. Now, 35 tackles at a 97% efficiency, 10 tackle breaks, 242 metres, 72 more than the next best, 99 PCMs, 2 line breaks, 1 line break assist, 2 tries, 1 try assist, player of the match.
Great stats. Fucking terrific stats.
Fucking terrific. That must have felt good to be able to put in a performance like that.
Oh, it's just honestly just so happy we won. And even just the week leading into the game, we did our review and we just nailed everything that we wanted to work on. We wanted to be absolute dogs in defence, and I think our whole team did that. So that's what I was just super happy about is everyone, we write up little goals that we want to achieve during the game and you obviously share that with your team, and I think everyone just absolutely nailed their role and just got the job done. And,
I mean, it was not just got it done, like pumped them.
It was a good win.
It was a great win. Like that, the initial try by Queensland.
Tamika Upton.
Which, like, can we get fair income just for a second? In what world was that a try?
I don't know. I don't ref. I'm not in the bunker.
Sure. Neither are we.
But I was a bit taken aback.
Well, even Queensland was taken aback. Like, I don't think there was a single person on the field that thought that was a try.
Or at home. I mean, listen, it was grounded. But what we are trying to do is get you to say something controversial and critical about this. So.
Look, I think the bunker said I had intent to pick up the ball, which, yeah, of course I did. I thought I could, get out of the in goal, but then realised I couldn't, so thought I had secured the grounding.
Yeah.
I guess if I have intent to catch the ball next time and I drop it, like, does that not?
That's the thing, right? And what was the point that someone else made in the comments? Was it Willie with the intent to? Yeah, like if you don't have the intent, it just felt like it didn't make sense logically. And can they tell what your intent is? Because you're like, well, I was trying to ground it.
Yeah, well,
without reading your mind, I don't think you can't know for sure. That's why it was so weird.
But the logical explanation would be that if you are trying to pick it up, you don't, then you go for it again. You're just like, quick, let's just, like, you're in the in goal, shit's hitting the fan.
yeah. Oh, well.
Hey.
I'm not a ref.
No, you're not a ref.
What's the chat like behind the sticks after that, though? Were the girls fuming or you're pretty in control?
We were pretty angry, and I think the chat was, everyone loves a close game, and I think it's so hard. Like, they want it to be close, and we just had to take it out of their hands and make sure we were just absolutely pristine in everything, in defense, in attack. We had to make sure we were just perfect. So that was the chat after. We just had to be better than perfect, really.
Yeah. And you were for the rest of the night.
We actually had our tinfoil hats on. We're like, they want this to go to game to
Those
3 games.
Those tinfoil hats up there, we put them on.
We put them on. We go, they wanted to go to 3 games. That's exactly what they want. And we actually said that we're going to need to be better than that.
Yes.
Which is...
Take it out of the judge's hands.
The ref's hand. Exactly
they did
right.
it to the boys last year with Suoliti. They wanted to go to 3, even though we would have swept them as well. Speaking of sweeps, is it time for us to purchase brooms? Are we sweeping next Thursday? Next Thursday?
Yeah. The plan is to sweep.
The plan is to sweep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll plan for a sweep then.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the plan.
If that's the plan.
You guys sound like you always say the right thing, so...
Well, listen, sometimes we get ourselves into trouble for talking too much shit. So we'll have to see how we go. But we will plan for a sweep.
We'll plan for a sweep. That's
Yes.
exactly right.
What's the sheds like after a famous victory? Like, there's some sort of understanding, I guess, being men ourselves, not that we've ever won anything, but like you can sort of get the vibe for like how the leaguey boys do it. But like, what's the sheds like after, whether it be a premiership win or an Origin series victory?
Yeah, everyone's just super happy and, I don't know, having a drink and good energy and just lots of laughs in the sheds.
Do you head out? on the town?
Well, this time we didn't because we were staying in Homebush, so like to get back out there. But by the time we left the field, it was like 11:30. We sort of went back out on the field, and then everyone getting a SARTA tested really delays that.
You get tested that night.
Yeah,
That's so annoying.
yeah, it is.
Is that after every game? Is that like a...
Sometimes, but I don't think they came last game. But it's super inconvenient for like our scheduling. You know, to
Yeah.
have a
Isn't
couple
like
of
to go and
drinks.
have a rip?
Yeah, so we just ended up going back to the team room and just having a few drinks there and just being together, which was really fun. But yeah, we came up with a team song, which
Oh, okay. What, you didn't have one yet?
I think we did, but we wanted to scrap it.
It's funny, dude, these days everyone's changing songs.
Yeah,
Titans, Tigers.
Yeah, but if they're
Yeah.
shit
No,
originally.
listen, I get it. I'm just saying this feels like the era of people going
Yeah.
like,
It was good. It was actually good, and we'd sung that for a few years, but I think we just wanted to evolve it. So
Yeah.
we added some of the same lines, I think, into it, but it needs some work. It really
needed
needs
some work.
Yeah.
So you can't sing it
couldn't
now?
sing a couple of bars
No.
for us now.
Nah, definitely
Can we get like
not.
a line maybe?
Sung though.
Nah, I can't.
And who's like chief songwriter? Is someone super talented in there?
Yeah, two people. Kennedy, of course, and Shaylee Bent is like
Oh yeah.
seriously so good at rapping.
Oh really?
Oh really?
So good, yeah. So
Okay.
her and Kennedy have come up with like the
Couple
tune.
of lyrics.
And
And,
so
then is
there's
everyone just sort of voting by like applause on the sideline?
Yeah.
You're like, we like that, or like, no, that's
Yeah,
like...
we actually did one night. We got into 4 groups and we all had to come up with a song, and then we all basically just came up with a couple of lines, and whatever lines we liked, we added it all together, and yeah, it became our new team song. Which
There
is
you
pretty
go.
Cool.
And like, are people belting it out with nice voices? You know, is this pitch perfect sort of stuff?
Yeah, we harmonising.
like, are we
here?
harmonising? We got
No.
as it altos and
I don't know, vibratos maybe,
Vibratos,
castrato.
We sort of adapted from the boys one as well that they came up with last year.
New
so-
South, whatever.
Yeah, we've sort of gone along those lines, and Shay is so big on like not singing it. She wants it to be like a full like yelling rap
right.
type situation.
Yeah.
Which it sounds really good when it's done right, but like we just didn't practice it. Still
Well,
good.
you'll need to win then next
know,
Thursday,
Yes,
so that
exactly.
you can practice it some
But
more.
you'd sing it after just a game, right? You don't just sing it after a series win, do you? Or is this like you only
Just
sing this
after-
song after?
No, after a win.
Yeah, after
just
a win.
Like
yeah, so they need to.
Yeah, no,
they'll
of
need to
course.
win
So they
next
get-
win
week.
the game.
Well, like, but I mean, remember the Titans? I swear it was the Titans one, like just recently, and they've all got the sheet. And it's like, you guys didn't even fucking practice this once, did you? Like, you didn't even.
It's
So you-
hilarious.
you-
They're all holding their sheets and no one knows anything, and it's like completely out of time. It's
no,
a mess.
you need to practice.
Yeah.
And maybe send us the lyrics because we're going to stream again next Thursday for the game, and we would like to sing it.
Okay. I'll
If
send you
that's
the
possible.
Yeah,
lyrics.
is that possible?
If that
Yeah.
maybe
or is
that's
this,
not allowed.
Because
or
no.
do you need to be on the field? Is
That's
that
also fair if we're not
Yeah.
allowed to be a part
I'll
of it.
check with the girls.
Check with the hierarchy
Yeah, yeah.
because we don't want to piss anyone off.
No, and then the song that we came up with, we had to keep thinking like, okay, it needs to be acceptable to pass down.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it could just someone younger might just be like, no, I'm not passing this shit down. That
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
good
yeah.
enough.
No,
So,
you want it to be generational because you've
Exactly.
actually you've already replaced someone's song.
yeah, by
Yeah.
accident, and we've
Jeez, we'd hate
we've
to just replace someone's song.
No,
Wait
we've
a minute.
still worked in the old song.
Yeah, you paid homage.
It wasn't my idea though.
No.
No, listen, that's
No,
all
you
right.
spent a lot
Take
of-
no accountability. That's exactly right.
There's a lot of talk Thursday night about, and you might not want to touch on this because you're a Rooster, about the state of the field.
Was it at Allianz? Was it at home?
It was Allianz.
Allianz.
Yeah, it was at Allianz,
It
right?
looked like it was underwater.
Yeah, it was a little bit muddy.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Yeah, I have no idea about those. What goes on in the background. with
Do you
that
train most of your time at Allianz?
thing. No, so no one really trains
Oh,
there.
okay.
We train at Kipax, so the field in front.
Better drainage in
Moore
Allianz, I imagine.
Yeah, you train where the men train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But never.
Oh, that's
really
like
on
just
the
out the front.
It's out
Yeah.
the front.
Yeah. Does
Yeah.
that ever flood, or just the main stadium?
Yeah, that could flood too.
Just the $828 million stadium. I think
Just that one that
floods.
floods. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Oh, that's good.
I have no idea.
What do you do when, like, outside of obviously shitting on the ground, which we will do because we're not Roosters fans and we're trying to cause you problems. But like when you're going into a game and you're seeing that, like you come out and you see the state of the field there, like most 99% of games aren't played in those conditions anymore, just because of the way modern stadia, drainage, and that. So how much does your game plan go out the window when it's that wet, where like the ball just doesn't even move?
Well, we actually didn't even have to really change our game plan. We didn't want to have to like change anything just because of weather. We did a captain's run where we were trying to get water on the ball to get used to all the rain. And then we actually warmed up outside when it was like pouring down, instead of warming up in the sheds, just to get used to that. So we might have shortened things up a little bit, but like it didn't change the way we played and the expansive footy. But yeah,
to be honest, actually on reflection, it didn't actually feel like obviously you played tight, but then Chapman got that try. Yeah. Like you still threw it around.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it played into your game style more though?
I think so. I actually really enjoyed playing in the rain, especially in the middle. I feel like everyone's movements are a bit slower, so you just try and make the best out of a really shitty situation.
Isabella Kelly said in the post-game press conference, when she was talking about you, like she said you're a very intelligent footballer.
Wow, that's really nice.
Oh, listen, it was nice of her to say that. But where do you think that comes from? Like, as in, you may not even see that in yourself, but like, where did you learn your football? Where did you get your football brain from?
I played a lot of touch when I was younger, and I definitely think that plays a huge part in how I got into footy and just being able to throw a footy and know like even what an overlap is. But then being coached by John Strange, like I am biased. He's my Roosters coach, but he's so intelligent as well and very smart, knows how to coach women and get the best out of his players. So I think a lot of our success at the club and in Origin is from him.
Is there a great difference? You just said there knows how to coach women. Like, what do you think the difference is in, like, say, someone who can't or isn't that good at coaching women compared to someone who is?
Yeah, I just think that when you're coaching women, we are so detailed in everything we do, and we need to know like every little minor detail, which can be so frustrating
Sounds like my wife telling me a story.
Seriously? Like
or my wife asking me 1,000 questions about a simple story.
No, that's exactly like we need to know everything, why we do it, like how we do it, why we do it, like when. And I think he is so good at getting those messages across, where I feel like a lot of other coaches can get really frustrated, and that can be men and women coaches. Like it's not, it's not just if you're a male, you can't coach women. Like Strangey's the perfect example of it. But he is just really, really good at being able to talk to women, even just communicate. Like he's so very transparent and honest with everyone from the start and doesn't just, take you for a ride sometimes. Yeah.
What about when you were growing up? How old were you when you started playing footy for? What are they called again? Where was your junior club? Why? Not Wyong Roos.
Wyong and Berkeley. Yeah. I played my first rugby league game at Berkeley, but I did a lot of league tag at Wyong.
Right,
so
okay. Your Wikipedia, which is where we go for all of our research.
Needs updating.
It needs a fucking facelift. It is like no one's touched that thing for years, and we were like...
That's how we know you're humble, because you haven't gone on there to update it yourself. Like others have done.
Yeah.
We know. Well, I'm not going to name anyone, but we know a couple of people.
What does it say on there?
Well, like it's just not overly populated. I think it says you won one premiership in 2021.
Well, it said you started playing for the Roosters in 2022.
Yeah. So it's all over.
Well, it was the 2021 season in 2022
because of COVID.
Yes, so that's a lot of.
We owe Wikipedia an apology.
Listen, it's thin though. It's very thin on the ground.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, what was the question again?
Fuck.
Junior footy. Where'd you play?
How old were you when you first played?
I played Berkeley Vale. I was 16, and then it was a nines competition, and then the Tarsha Gale. They asked me to come trial for Newcastle, And so I started playing Tasha Gale at Newcastle, made the team, and it was 9-a-side then.
Another talented junior that got stolen away from the Knights, by the Roosters.
Well, no, I played my juniors there. Tasha Gale was 9-a-side, and then it went to 11-a-side. And then I played my first ever 13-a-side footy, it's so completely different. I don't think I would ever have just started playing 13-a-side when I was 16 because I was just a touchy and I actually didn't really want to like do any contact.
Yeah.
Nines just had a bit more space. And then, when it went to 11-a-side, it was still a bit of space, but I played my first game of 13s. It was under 18s Origin. And it was so different.
That was your first game.
First
game. 13s was to play for the state.
And I didn't even realise it was 13-a-side until I ran out and I was like, shit, there's so many people out here. It was just so different and it just changed, obviously, the way I played.
Yeah.
And then the next year I was playing women's for Central Coast Roosters in the Harvey Norman competition, and that's when I started playing like 13-a-side.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you not know it was 13?
I was honestly so clueless when I was younger. I didn't really know how to play until the rules until I was maybe like 21.
So were you like
what position were you playing?
I was playing 9-a-side. I was like an edge middle, like there's 9 people on the field.
Yeah.
But then when you in your first game for like State of Origin,
I was playing back row.
Playing back row.
Yeah. But because it was just like a lot of line running, I wasn't really used to that. Like 11s, you got to like pass and a bit more space.
Yeah.
So I just didn't really understand the whole concept of like what a back rower needed to do.
So
was there any training in the lead up to the game?
Yeah, a week worth. And like, I don't know.
But you were just doing your thing, you're just cruising.
Yeah, it was a really fun time.
Yeah. But so like that's still very late to like 16s when you play your first contact game, right?
Yeah.
So you did nothing contact, like anything up until that point, just played touch. How old when you started playing touch?
I started playing touch maybe like 10.
Okay, right. So
Yeah.
you had a footy in your hand for a while.
Yeah, my mum played a lot of touch, so I was always at State Cup when I was little, and so I've always been around touch, and then started playing when I was 10, and yeah.
So
was it always touch? Did you play anything else?
I did netball, rep netball
Shout
growing up.
Position, goal attack. I'm just saying.
Goal shooter, goalkeeper, goal defense.
Yeah.
And then I did like nippers, athletics,
Right.
like just the works. I swam heaps when I was little.
Gifted.
Athlete.
Yeah,
I'm
we
getting
got an
that
athlete
vibe.
answer.
Getting that vibe.
Well, I mean, like, rarely you're going to be in here talking to us unless you are an athlete of some note.
Yeah, great
Shout
point.
out to Brendan Cow. Punters and dribblers, we're brought to you as always by our good friends at Four Pines, but this week we're shining the light on something a little darker, taller, darker, and handsome, and that's their foray into the dark lager.
Four Pines Dark Lager, punters and dribblers. Let me get down to a simple, undeniable truth. When she's getting cold, when the fires are roaring, okay, when the mist rolls in, when the fog sets in, Tom, you get a dark lager and you get into your fucking work.
That's right.
because that's gospel for me in these darker months.
Yep.
Dark lagers are gospel.
Dark lagers, fireplace, some sort of a pie.
Yeah, exactly. Shepherd pie.
A shepherd's pie, steak and kidney pie.
Pies.
A pie.
A pie.
But we've got early access, so you losers can't get it yet. And I mean losers in a loving way. We got it early.
We did. We got it early because we're important and you're not. But you can get it. You can get it on June 2nd
Yep.
by nipping down to your BWS's and your Dan Murphy's.
Yep.
June 2nd. This is undeniable.
Yep.
This is undeniable stuff. June 2nd, just around the corner. BWS and Dan Murphy's nationally.
Punters and Dribblers brought to you by Ned's. Heard of it?
Chang, chang, chang. That's me this week because I was making it rain.
Yes. I technically did as well. We changed on the Women's Origin.
Yes, we did.
We did, in a big way.
Yep.
Took Ned's to Pound Town.
Yeah.
Listen,
Good markets from Ned's.
good markets.
Good markets.
We have a lot of fun. We like to punt. If you like to punt, obviously responsibly, you do it with Ned's. We've got our profiles on there. You can go and follow along, see our bets. You can get in the About Even group. We've got another pot coming up for State of Origin next Wednesday
With the Alpha Blokes.
with the Alpha Blokes. They'll have their own pot. We got our pot.
Oh,
New
is it
South
a
Wales
pot off?
Oh, it's a pot off, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're not on Ned's and you want to be a part of a pot off, Join immediately.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website. So, like, footy, though, was, I imagine, never really an option.
No, not really. I did sevens in school. I think that actually might have been my first game of contact.
Okay.
And then but my school never had like any contact sport for girls. And then they finally got sevens in, and I think that was like but I rarely even tackled there as well.
Was that like a threat, like a threshold to cross, going like, again, girls contact sport not even allowed in your school. Girls contact sport generally hasn't been that big of a thing until, recently, I guess. But like to make the decision like, oh, I'm going to go and start playing contact sport. Was that a big decision, or was it just like fucking whatever?
I think it was just another thing that I'd always done sport my whole life, and I was always so busy throughout the week. And it was just another day off school. So that's why I did sevens. And then, got asked to play in the nines comp with by one of my friends that I played touch with. And it was just another sport I got to do on the weekend, which I really enjoyed. I just loved being around my mates all the time. And then, I made Tasha Gale. And I think it was just, sweet rep footy on the weekend. And then I finished school and I just didn't really know what to do. I didn't want to go to uni. I knew that, and that's why I started playing Harvey Norman for Central Coast Roosters, because I was like, what else am I going to do?
But was there some sort of path at that point in your life, like where you were like, oh, this thing's sort of, how emergent was the NRLW, and like where there was a path for you?
Yeah, the NRLW came in at 2018, but I didn't know about it, because I didn't even really watch like boys footy. Like my family's very heavily into footy. My dad is a massive Manly supporter.
Oh.
Yes.
What's your father's name?
His name's Brad.
Shout out to Brad. Brad Kernick.
Yeah. Oh.
Give that man a hug.
Oh, yeah. Send Brad our best.
But I just remember, he was just loving Manly, and but you just sit there and watch it, but never really understood it. And then, I just didn't realize there was a pathway for women's, and it still wasn't a career anyway. Like, you couldn't make money from it at that time, not anything livable. Just sort of played just for fun. And then it got to probably 2020, and I was a development for the Roosters. And that's sort of when I was like, oh, I could actually probably like play like the girls, because I was going to trainings but I wasn't able to play. And so I was like, if I'm coming here, like maybe I can actually get a contract for this. And then, the next year I got a contract.
So you're just winging it. You're basically like, I don't know what I'm going to do, and just kept following it all the way across.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Forgive my ignorance. What's the sort of the lay of the land now from a financial perspective? Do you only play footy? Do you have to have another job? Like, how well are the women paid
now? A lot
now?
of the other girl, like everyone pretty much works another job. You can't really live off what we get paid. Obviously, if you make representative teams, it's a little bit like more money for you. But everyone's working. I do a few things with Deadly Choices and stuff around the club, and Millie Elliott's foundation.
Friend of the show.
Yes, friend of the show. She has a foundation called Trainer Group. So I do a little bit of that stuff as well.
Also in the podcast game.
Yes, podcast.
Podcast game. Say Less.
Say Less.
Say Less with Millie and Keely.
Millie, Keely and Kernick.
Yeah, there we go.
Used to be, what it used to be called Upfront. Changed the name. We had a name
yeah.
change recently. I saw that on the socials. What's that like? You enjoy it?
Yeah, it's fun. I actually can't believe people listen. It's funny seeing like girls in the crowd with signs and like,
oh really?
Oh, it's crazy. And because we always say it, because we lived together last year, and now Millie's pregnant. Me and Keely are living with Izzy, but we just always say like, we actually have to start planning our podcast because people genuinely listen. And like, you'll be walking around the field like trying to see your family and take photos and stuff, and kids and even like girls who are 18, 20, they scream out to me like saying, we love the podcast.
Oh, great.
How fun's that?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's mad. Well, keep doing that. Keep going. How often are you doing it?
We
Is it every
try
week
once
or
a
you
week,
try? Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's just a bit of fun for us, and
That's how it starts.
put shit on
That's how it starts.
Keely, really.
You just keep it. yeah.
we were
that's
listening to that. Wasn't that
yeah.
one of the name of the
One
podcast?
of the names is just like hang shit on Keely.
Yeah.
Do you have is there any media interest, or is like, I guess, being exposed to the professional football world, and then obviously there's like things that can come from that. Has it sparked any interest in you for like post-career things, or whether it's media or anything else?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think I just sort of dabble in a bit of everything and see what I like. I do enjoy doing like the media stuff and doing a few promos here and there. But I don't know if I want to make a career out of it. I'm still very young. The most indecisive person. So I love just being able to do like a different thing every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, haven't
Well,
really
at
made my mind
24,
up.
I don't think there's any rush.
No,
to be
exactly.
honest, you know? You're talking to a couple of grizzly old vets over here who we need this. You know what I mean? We don't have the freedom of just sort of flopping around. You know, winning player of the matches.
No, we haven't won.
Winning comps, winning Deli M's.
No.
You know,
What's it like at the Roosters? It's obviously a glamour club. Did you?
some have said that.
Well, listen, they probably say it about themselves. Again, we're like Brad Kernick over here. We love Manly and we hate the Roosters, although I'm sure he kind of likes them now a little bit because of you. But, they are does the women's team run similar to the men's, like buy the best players, just win the comp? Is
Is that how it works?
Well, a lot of
That's what
our
it's
girls have come from the Central Coast, and the Roosters are obviously affiliated with the Central Coast. That's a catchment area. And so we've sort of been there from 2021 when we won that premiership. So it's a lot of Central Coast girls. So it's it's the Roosters is home for us Central Coast girls.
That's
so we've kept pretty much a good core of our group. And then I guess everyone just wants to play with us.
Well, listen, you follow the success. I get it. How are you feeling about this season? You going to go back to back? Is that the vibe?
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm super excited. I've got training this Arvo and we'll get to go see the girls. They started preseason last week when we were in camp. But yeah, we love our team. We've got such a good little crew. We've got a pretty young team this year. We've brought up a couple of our dev girls into top 24 contracts, which is exciting. They've just been working super hard in the off season. One girl, Tyra, she's come up from Tasha Gale, so she's been able to play in the Tasha Gale comp. But yeah, I'm super excited to see how they go. But yeah, keen to get into it.
You said like preseason started last week. Obviously, Origin started a couple of weeks ago. Is it hard to get yourself in the right condition mentally, physically to play Origin before the season's even started?
Yeah, it is. I think this year we've gone every 2 weeks. Last year was every 3 weeks the games were. Leading in, we had a 6-week training block. So that was sort of our preseason.
Yep.
So I feel like all the Origin girls, we've got our base fitness, so we should be good going into NRLW. The hardest thing is that we experienced last year is losing an Origin and having to come into training, and everyone's super keen to be there, but you obviously are so depressed from losing that it's like the last thing you want to be doing is footy. But even win or lose, everyone's just super keen to get back in with your NRLW team, and that is obviously we want to win game 3 and we're so keen to be in there, but there's little whispers, everyone's just super keen to get back to clublands.
That's good.
In a perfect world, do you think there's a better place for State of Origin for the women in the season, or are you happy to open it up with State of Origin?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Because if we have it in the middle of our season and you expect girls to play Wednesday or Thursday night and then back up and play like some of the boys do, I don't think we can do that physically. We don't train or play all year round to be able to do that, and no one wants to miss even one game. We only play this year 11 rounds, so you don't want to miss like 2 or 3 games.
Great point.
So we would love at like this point of the time of year and then to have preseason trials before Origin.
Yeah.
I think that was sort of talks about the way to do the scheduling, but then that comes down to money and, people are down here for longer. People relocate. Like I relocate. I live on the Gold Coast, and then I come live in Sydney in season. So I would have to come down till February, and it just throws things out. So I don't know how they're going to do it and how they're going to plan it for the next CBA. I think if we were to extend the year, then we turn into full-time athletes instead of part-time.
Mad. How involved are you, like, you're now one of the big names in the game. Like, are you consulted about things? Not as in like, hey, shit, we ask Liv, but like, you know, when we're trying to they're trying to decide on or get the feedback from the women about how they're finding things going. Like, are you part of those conversations?
The RLPA opens it up to players. I think they just had a talk not too long ago, but I couldn't go because I was busy. But I think my opinion is very similar to most girls in the game because we all work. Other girls might have even better opinions because they've got, you know, kids to worry about as well and families. And so everyone's sort of like always on the same page anyway, I feel like, because, you know, the end goal is to go full time, but it's also got to be realistic. And
how many games a year would that be for full time, do you think?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would love to play everyone twice because we only play everyone once.
Yep.
And then so the second time you verse them is in finals.
Yep.
I would love to play everyone twice and then to have a solid finals series because at the moment, well, last year it was top six. I don't know. But if you lose the semis, then you were just out. Yeah. So I would like to have like top 8 versus everyone twice if we were to keep the 12 teams.
So that'd be 20 games, I think, 10 and 10.
So is it 12 teams currently?
Yeah.
And they're bringing more in?
They just brought the Warriors and Dogs in.
When's Manly coming in? Fuck me. Forgive my language, everyone. But I've been
party, Manly.
Well, that's what I mean.
Would you play for Manly?
Well, she can't say that.
No,
dude,
but like out of honor of your father.
Listen, we'll just blink or don't blink.
I love the Roosters.
Yeah, there you go.
Right,
That's a
okay.
yes, dude.
But
It
was just because like
listen, that's a
just because
yes.
of a dad.
That's a yes. We've got daughters. I can only imagine our daughters would do the same thing. They'd be like, "Fucking dad loves Manly." I'm going to Manly.
Yeah,
As soon as the team comes in.
Exactly right.
Unless Uncle Nick comes to the party, then I would understand. He gets you, you know, a mansion.
But that makes sense. Play everyone twice. It's 20 rounds plus finals. That's good. That's solid.
Yeah.
But I think they want to keep bringing in new teams, which is great.
I feel like it's been done well in the NRLW, like slowly bringing in, slowly adding teams.
And that's what we love about it because we're still keeping the product really, really high quality.
Mm-hmm.
So if you bring in too many teams at once, then the quality's not that great. Yeah. And it's just like playing Harvey Norman.
It's AFL.
Maybe.
It is. It's a great. You're seeing 2 different models at work, and you're seeing one like where the product is really good. It's legit, and one where it's not. And we maybe unfairly at times shit on women's AFL. It's not. It's just because it's like, why are you doing this?
But we're team NRL.
We are also team NRL. We are very pro NRL. But have you even noticed like the quality of the women's game, like from the time you've come into the competition to now, seems to just be getting better very quickly.
Yeah, I think so as well. And even when we bring in new teams, I think last year, I can't even remember, when we brought in 4 teams and everyone was a little bit worried about that because it was so many teams so quickly, but the quality was still really good. And I think women just really, I think they evolve in the environment that they're in, and everyone pushes each other, you know, the people around you. So the new teams that came in, they like smashed it, and the quality across the whole competition was still really, really good.
And I guess young girls have something to work towards. It's not sort of like, you know, with yourself where you just sort of were doing it because you were just following whatever you felt like doing, but like girls can see that there's a real opportunity now and like something to train and work towards.
Yeah, 100%. That's the most important thing, is that younger girls can see a future in it and that they can actually keep working for it. We had the True Blues awards last night, and like a couple of the old boys got up and like were speaking about how they'd always wanted to play Origin like when they were 8 years old, and like that just wasn't a thing for me. I didn't even think that I could that I would be doing this. Like I probably would have laughed at you if you told me that this was going to be my life.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that's really cool now is that younger girls get to see, you know, the NRLW on TV, and it's only going to get better. Like I think it'll go full time within the next CBA, which is really exciting.
How good's that? How was the True Blue Awards?
Yeah, it was good.
Just a night celebrating the state?
Yeah, well, it was announcing the boys team, and then there was a flash mob actually.
A flash mob?
Really? Who did the flash mob?
Who's organising the flash mob at the Trues? That would have sent some of the old fogs being like,
commercial team.
Yeah, the old fog. Like, what the fuck?
Who was in the flash mob?
Former Origin greats would be wigging out.
It was actually like waiters, and they pretended to be waiters.
Yes.
No. And
what? They're just like right in the middle of the room, like dancing around the tables and
so
shit.
They started talking about our girls' team, and then the flash mob went off, started dancing, got up on stage, started dancing, came down, circled our table,
and
then got us up to dance, and then that's how they announced the women's team on stage. Is with a flash mob.
Oh my God.
How was that? Was that like, were you, like, I guess, embarrassed? You know what I mean? Not like shitting on the flash mob. I just more mean you're like, oh
the
my
dancers
God.
were so good. They were great.
That's so funny.
But how,
you know what I mean? Like,
how are you?
That's what I mean. You're like having dancing foisted upon you. You're like, oh fuck, I got to groove up there.
Yeah, no, it was. Look, now I get to laugh and smile about it. Like
in the
later
moment,
on.
you were like, what the fuck is going on?
And there was also like 7 of us there, because a lot of the girls had to go to their NRLW trainings, or a few girls are sick.
So there wasn't many of you having to.
So you couldn't hide it amongst the masses. Do you have what sort of moves were you going with? You just panic, or do you go for like an old staple?
I was too shame. I just stood up and walked up on
just
stage.
Walked up. Yeah. Didn't do like a palm. You just do like footy moves.
No, I felt so bad. The dancers were like, "Come on, like just a little bit of a move," and I was like, "I'm sorry."
Is that what they were whispering?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I thought it was a joke. I was like, "Keely, nah, we don't have to get up. We're sweet."
Oh, that's so good. And they just swarm you like a shark, circling you and drag you up on stage.
That's straight out of the commercial team hands.
Yeah, that's big commercial.
It was a fun and interesting way to get us up.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Probably just looking for a little bit more from you. know?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Now I get to laugh about it. So.
Yes, you do.
Exactly.
And some commercial was like, she didn't even dance. Did you see that? She wouldn't even dance. She wouldn't even dance. She wasn't moving at all. What was Vegas like?
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. I think, sucks being cut from it.
Yes. Yeah.
But the whole experience is crazy. Like the way Americans do sport is unreal. We went to a hockey game, and I don't know if you went, but when they bin them and they yell out shame.
No,
we didn't go. We went
the first year.
But we didn't go to an NHL game. No.
We would.
So what, the crowd's like shaming them?
Shame. As soon as they get sent, and me and Liv Higgins would saying like we would love to adapt that into NRL.
That would be funny.
That would be.
It would be great.
That would actually be good. Just
I reckon people would love it.
It wouldn't be too hard to get off the ground. Surely you just start.
I don't think so.
I like that.
But yeah, it was really cool just seeing how they even do sport, and then just even playing
on
at
Allegiant.
Was wild.
Place is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, and the
doesn't flood that joint.
Like
no flooding there. No.
The coaches have their own sheds. Like
the coaches have their own
separate from the actual players' locker room.
Yeah.
But yeah, very very high tech. Very fun.
And then you get out there and put on one of the great Hurtons of all time on the English. Listen.
Is it 94 points?
94-6.
Yeah.
Would have been over 100 if someone hit all their conversions. I'm not saying that in like a judgmental sense. I'm more saying it to England. Like, you're lucky we didn't hit all our conversions.
Well, you pretty much got 100 put on you.
You got 100 put on you. What's that like? Because at some point, do you feel bad at all? Or are you just like, let's just dominate these gals?
Yeah, you like, obviously you would never want to lose like that. So you do feel a little bit bad, but also
you do want to win by that many, maybe.
Well, we just want to play good footy, and I think it's hard. I just think that we wanted to do our job and to just to showcase like just how good and successful the NRLW has been, and how hard like the girls. Not saying that England don't work hard, like because they do, and I think they were saying like their grassroots need a lot more investment over there, which would help them a lot. And that's just going to show like we've actually invested time and money into women's sport over here, and just look at the success that we can get from it.
Yeah.
It was an incredible advertisement for the women's game in Australia. Like, it really was.
It was just, the double-edged sword of it is that you're like, it was very one-sided. It was probably better served having
on
different opposition.
if like, it's obviously disappointing that you're being cut. Would you have rather played New Zealand, for example? Do you think that would have been a better?
It probably could have been a bit better matched, but I think all the girls were really excited to play England.
Okay.
A lot of them haven't played, like I've never played them before.
Yep.
And the last time we came up against them was 2017. So the girls were super keen. There's a lot of rivalry between England and Australia.
Oh, there's heaps.
A lot of shit talk and stuff like that. So everyone was just super excited to be matched up against them again. But I do think New Zealand, they have such quality players as well, and a lot of their players play in the NRLW. So that could have been a better quality game. But also...
But did you really know that was in store? Like,
no, not at
all.
all.
Yeah, right. You couldn't have really predicted.
You can't predict it. So you just,
Exactly. And also for England to get a gauge on themselves, we've got to meet at some point. And I think we need to be able to verse them more often to be able to, for them to get better and for us to get better. I think even the eligibility for women's is a little bit, it's tough on us because we've actually got a few players that could go play for England, and but then they miss out on Origin selection.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
So it's a similar setup as the men have got.
Yeah.
If you're a tier 1 nation, you
same
can't.
same setup.
Same setup. Okay.
Yeah.
Which you wonder, especially with women's the women's game, whether they should just get rid of that.
Yeah, I think it would be good because you obviously want the best players playing in those representative teams. That's how the game is going to grow, and it's going to grow over in England. Like, you don't know what England's going to be like after their team loses like that. People might not want their kids to play because if they're, getting smashed like that. But I think if we have players playing over there or they have their players over here, it's really hard when it's obviously a big move coming from England.
Yeah.
But not a full-time thing yet.
Yeah. And NRLW is not full-time, so it's part-time. We've got a couple of girls that have moved over from England and they play in the NRLW and they kill it. So, I think that it'd be great to get a few more players over here and being able to train in our environment as well.
Punters and Dribblers brought to you by Good Day Daily Multivitamins.
Yes, sir.
And Daylight's Daily
Yes,
Electrolytes.
sir.
Eddie, we do a lot of talking. Let's let the dribbler do the talking. Give us a review on why this product is
Shout out
awesome.
to Lewis, gave it 5 stars, said, "This is sorcery. I've had Good Day for a little over a month now, and I must say, wow, that's in capitals. The flu has had 3 attempts at knocking me down and hasn't got past the bouncer yet. Not to mention I wake up, drink my Good Day, and feel like I could push over a woolly mammoth. The energy levels are insane. My health has improved and my mental state is on the up. Well done, fellas. Feel free to read this as an ad. Just did. Lewis gets it. Lewis gets it, punters and dribblers. Lewis gets it. Boost your immunity, boost the energy levels, get that mental sharpness, get that mental clarity.
Cleanse your liver.
It's a fucking sachet a day into a cup of water, piece of piss, Bob's your uncle, dribblers is the code, 10% off, biggoodhealth.com.au, get that up, yeah.
Got a question for you with regards to the controversy that happened to you with your selection in the Australian side, and you can dead bat any of this, so like feel free to not answer it. But I guess one of the things that we found interesting when we were talking about that story, when we're doing our research, is that for those that don't know, you had what they're calling in many rugby league circles one of the great seasons of all time, where you win the Dally M, play grand final, you win the grand final, 2-try hero, all that. You then get dropped from the Australian side. The coach, one of his excuses was that you didn't start in Origin, but you actually started in all 3 games. Whatever. Part of the thing that's interesting about the story is, obviously, I imagine you're dealing with disappointment from being dropped. It became a big media story, so maybe that is uncomfortable because that's not necessarily the way you want to be in the media. But then also, it felt like it was also reflective of the growth, importance, awareness, and acknowledgement of the women's game, that was even a storyline. as much as you want to talk about it or not, like what was the experience just like for you?
Yeah, it was definitely an experience, to say the least. I got a call on our Mad Monday. We're on a boat, so it was nice being surrounded by my teammates and getting, very sad news. But yeah, I think I'm glad I went through that. A bit of adversity never hurt anyone, and I was actually able to go to New Zealand and play in the Maldives tournament over there. And I hadn't been back home and seen my family in about 6-7 years, and I got to go over with mum and play over there, and I think that was super special. So I'm actually really glad I got to experience that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was in Pac Champs. So I think I'm really grateful that I got to do that, because I don't know when the next time mum would have got over into New Zealand. And so yeah, it was just really good seeing my family in that situation.
Yeah, making the best out of it.
Yeah.
Nice silver lining.
Yes, it was a nice silver lining. But yeah, obviously I was very sad about not being there, because I do love representing my country, and especially being in that space. It's super, it's really unreal being around the best of the best and being able to play with them and learn off everybody, and play with girls from other clubs, especially the Queensland girls that you wouldn't play with at Origin. So that I did really miss that. But it just gave me more fire in the belly to get out there this year and get back into that jersey.
What's it like being a media in the what was that experience like, where just that it was like a storyline?
It was a big story.
That became a big storyline. What was that experience like?
Oh, honestly, I didn't really pay too much attention to it, because I was just busy with other stuff.
Mad Monday.
Yeah, I was busy with the girls.
Mad Monday went on for a little longer after the news.
Yeah.
Were the girls fired up when you on the boat when you told them? They must have been fuming.
Oh, everyone had a few too many drinks. And we were just having fun. And then I honestly was so busy. I had to move back to Queensland. It actually freed up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Moving all my stuff back to Queensland, and I got to spend a few extra weeks in the sun on the Gold Coast and with my boyfriend, and then I went to Bali with the girls.
Okay, so
so it's okay.
This is all right.
Yeah.
This is.
I'm glad there was a silver lining.
Yeah, thanks. So am I. What about future athletic endeavours? Are you a sevens rugby? You a convert? We got a convert on our hands.
I don't think I could ever play sevens. Those girls are unreal athletes. I think I'm quick enough, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Well, sevens is actually. Well, you said you played it growing up. You touched footy and shit, like
amateur sevens in school.
Yeah, right.
Years ago.
Yeah.
I think I love playing NRL and being at the Roosters. So I would love to stay in this sport for as long as I can, and I just honestly love my life, being able to hang out with some of my bestest friends and train and get to do that for a living. So as long as I can stay in the game, it'll be great.
We've heard a lot, just on the Roosters, we've heard a lot about, particularly on the men's side, the Roosters like to wine and dine potential recruits. Did you get the same treatment from Uncle Nick when you went across? No? Okay.
Have you met him? Does he get around the girls' team?
Yeah, he does.
He seems like he's quite a cool owner of the club to have a Supremo.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He makes himself known. I feel like a lot of the staff do that really well at the club, and Strangies really big on making sure we've felt a part of the club from day one. I think that was really important when the women's space started getting bigger, is making sure the women's feel a part of the club.
Nice. Just a quick one on pre-season. Are you doing a beep test? You doing beep test this year?
We do Broncos.
No one's
doing the beeps anymore.
Did you ever do beep tests growing up? Is this?
Yeah, I did.
Exactly.
Okay, right. Well, fuck. We just need something that we can peg ourselves to.
But also,
why don't you do the Bronco?
Because that sounds fucking terrible.
No, but what I think the importance of the beep test, and this is why we want it to live on, is that it's you can measure yourself against when you're a 6-year-old or 7-year-old or 8-year-old or whatever at primary school, you can map it all the way through, and all this chopping and changing is just not healthy, I don't think.
No, exactly. I want to be able to compare myself currently to me when I was 8.
Yeah, I got like a 10 when I was in year 6.
Yeah,
so
I know that when I was 10, I was slow as hell. Or maybe when I was 10, I'm beating myself now, which I definitely
So
would
what's your scores now?
I got
a
to like 11, didn't I?
Did I get 6?
Yeah.
Was it that bad?
You got to 7. I think you were out at 7.
It was biblically bad. Like we
did one for content. It was in the pouring rain. We did it barefoot after a huge night. It was dumb.
It was dumb. But you still got to 11. I got to 6. And my wife, not then currently wife, shocked she's still with me, was like watching. And I just sort of
They're
collapsed.
all watching. They're all.
I collapsed in the mud and you just keep running. It's on camera. We still haven't released it because we're lazy.
But it's been done.
It has been done.
Do a Bronco for content.
Okay, so what's the Bronco again?
It's 20 back, 40 back, 60 back 5 times, and it's 1.2 kilometers.
Jesus Christ. That sounds
And it's a foot over the line.
Yeah.
And you just keep going.
Turns, yeah, as fast as you can.
Who's
20 back, 40 back,
60 back.
60
20,
back.
40, 60. Who's
5
the best?
Sammy Bremner holds the record.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She came back,
didn't she?
she had a baby and then came back 7 months later and beat everyone. So
Are you serious?
She's
ridiculous.
crazy.
Is she still is she retired again, or is she
she's
still playing?
the GM of the women of the Dragons, the women's space.
Oh,
general
really?
Manager. Yeah, such a great role for her. Like,
And she came back playing halfback for you guys, was it? Or
fullback. Yeah.
Fullback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just a freak of an athlete. I think she got 4 minutes 53, which is just crazy.
For 1.2K. Think about that.
No,
with
don't
the
worry.
turns.
That's disgusting.
Don't worry, mate.
With
I'm thinking about
turns.
it. Yeah, that's disgusting.
And like she has 3 kids, so
Holy shit. Okay.
Right, after 7 months as well.
Righto, Sammy Bremner. That's too much. That's hectic. When does the season start for you guys?
start of July is our first game.
Okay,
I think,
mad.
like the 5th.
Hectic.
Yeah, so we train up until then.
Listen, Eddie, I mean, like, we don't have a team in the competition.
No, we don't. But we've also got 2, I would say, close personal
Well, that's what I'm
friends.
saying. We've got 2
Millie Elliott.
CPFs, close
Roosters.
personal friends at the Roosters now on the podcast. It's
Don't be
like,
scared to get some Roosters colours on.
We won't be getting any
there won't be
Roosters
any
Roosters
colours.
13 plus.
No fucking way. There'll be no Roosters colours on. That's
We'll be watching. We'll keep an eye.
But I'm just saying, like, I need to have someone to believe in.
I want the best for our close personal friends. That's
and
what I want.
so,
the best
like,
for.
and we don't really. Again, we live in the area. It just feels like maybe it makes sense. I'm not going to say it publicly though.
No, I won't say it publicly.
So you might like.
We'll put it this way: if you promise to go to Manly when they come in,
Then
we
we'll
promise
go.
we'll go
That's
to
a good deal.
Roosters.
That's a good deal.
It doesn't make any sense.
How the hell doesn't that make sense? We're going to.
We'll follow the Roosters now. If you
come to Manly
come to
when
Manly.
they come in the competition.
okay,
That's not a no. It's a no for public facing.
it's a
yeah.
no.
She's winking. If you're just listening to this, she's like,
winking. She's winking.
she's nodding. We're stitching up deals. Don't you worry about that. Now, also
Gifts.
Oh, God.
Now these are I mean, I don't know. You may have vitamins and electrolytes in your professional athlete's diet already.
But these are ours.
But these are ours. This is ours. Good day, daylights, and there's a hat.
There's a nice hat
Thank
for
you
you.
so much.
But also, hang on, a couple more
Is
things.
this what you were putting in your drink bottle earlier?
Yeah, the daylights.
That's an electrolyte. It's
An electrolyte.
beautiful.
Good day is a multivitamin. Now, how do you prefer your jumpers, oversized or?
Oversized.
Okay, great. Well, here is where the fuck's the size? There it is. New South Wales 13 plus
Oh, thank you so
jumper
much.
there.
So when you win 13 plus in like 10 days
10
time,
days time, and you're celebrating, singing the new song.
it'd be great. You don't have to wear.
No, listen,
You don't
have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Okay.
But it's a prized possession. The New South Wales 13 plus.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you for coming on. Very nice to meet you.
Great to chat. Loved it.
Congratulations on all the success.
And good luck on the for the season and for next week.
Thanks.
And thanks for the other night.
And
'cause
thanks
that
to
was
the
like-
night. Yeah, listen.
That was biblical stuff.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
little Kernick into unders, baby. That's
It
all
was
you
a
need.
great-
We had
yeah.
a great night.
I'm
He got
glad.
really drunk.
I did actually. Everyone left except me and like the producers, and I was
No, there was other people around.
No, I said the producers were here. You left first, then
By yourself.
Scope was here a little bit longer, and then I sat here with the boys, just putting away.
Well, Justin Horro, I don't know if you know him, but
Yes.
he he's Mr. Women's Rugby League, and he just
he's got it dialed. He knows.
He knows. He'd have to know almost every player.
Well, from a male rugby league content guy that I know, he seems to have the best knowledge about.
And he's a huge fan of yours.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He is. He's a legend. He's a sweetheart and a great gambler. Anyway, thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Cheers.
Could you two just not talk anymore?